Hello everybody and welcome to LAB and my video all about how to plan your time effectively. I'm going to assume that most of you don't have the luxury of being able to apply for training contracts full time because you are probably studying and or working at the same time exactly like I was. I remember when I was going through this period that I was incredibly stressed and I had no idea how I was going to manage all of this and come out the other side alive. So I thought I would just put together a quick video for some tips and advice as to how I made it through my GDL year whilst also applying for training contracts. So in order to manage your time effectively, you need to A, plan it effectively, and B, use it effectively. So I'm going to split this video into those two sections. When I started at the College of Law, I was told that I needed to put equal time into studying and researching firms and applying for training contracts. And that's a lot of time. I was spending nearly every day in lectures and workshops, and trying to find that time again to research and apply for firms is a huge amount of time on my part. So you need to be thinking about making a timetable to manage that time and plan it, or else time will run away from you and you will not have time to do any of it. I haven't got an example of a timetable to show you because there's no real art to making a timetable, and it's also completely dependent on how you work. When I was studying and applying, I found that I was unable to do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I am not a Trojan like that. I need to have some downtime and some time just for myself to relax and go out. So I tried to do all of my work and research in the 5 working days of the week and have the weekends off. But you guys might have a different way of doing things if you work differently. One thing I would say to bear in mind is the different times of year when you might need to change up your timetable. So there are going to be times, for example, exam periods, where you need to allow for the fact that you are going to need to spend most of your time focusing on your studying and not so much on the applications, and vice versa when it comes to around the time of closing deadlines for vacation schemes and applications for training contracts. You want to make sure you've got enough time to devote a lot of time to your applications around that time, as well as factoring in any other personal commitments. For example, if you're on holiday or if you need to take time off to go to law fairs, or in particular examples like the Christmas holidays where you might not really want to do either. Make sure you can take account of all that time so you can plan your other time to focus on your studying and your applications accordingly. Moving on to how to use your time effectively. I'm not going to focus too much on studying here because I've never really been a brilliant studier, and I'm certainly not the authority on how to be a great studier. And I'm hopefully going to assume that by this point you guys have done quite a lot of studying and you've probably found a routine that suits you. But I am going to talk a little bit about how to plan your time in terms of research and applying for firms which might be new to you. As I've said in all of my other videos, I think you want to try and restrict your applications to 10 firms or less, because you're simply not going to have time to do more than that. I know the law of averages says that the more training contracts you apply for, the more likely you are to get a training contract. However, in the case of training contracts, this is not how it works. The more you do, the lower the quality of each one, which actually makes it less likely for you to get a training contract overall. So if you can focus your efforts on 10 or less really, really good applications, you are much more likely to get a training contract. So that follows that one of the first steps you need to take is to choose the law firms that you want to apply to. In my How to Choose a Law Firm video, which I would recommend that you watch, I do give you some pointers about how to choose law firms and how to plan your time around doing that. I am going to apologise in advance about the editing on that video. That was not my finest editing hour, but if you can grin and bear it through the shoddy editing, there are some really good hints and tips there for how to choose law firms, so please forgive me and watch it. Once you've chosen the law firms you want to apply to, you need to dedicate your time to researching those individual firms as much as you possibly can. That does include doing internet-based research to find out as much as you can, but also try and attend as many events as you can. I know I've said in other videos, get involved in absolutely everything, but it is by far the best way of getting a training contract if you can actually meet some people from the firms that you're applying to. Even if you go to one event and you speak to someone for 10 minutes, that will literally save you hours and hours of time trawling through the internet, trying to find out what a firm's values are, what they want in a trainee. If you can spend 10 minutes with someone, you will find out all you need to know, and you will also be able to get inside the mind of the people that are reading your applications, which is absolutely invaluable. So if you can go to events, make sure you factor that into your timetable, as that is a really, really important use of your time, as well as internet research and actually doing your applications. I've done other videos on applications and how to choose law firms, so I'm going to leave it there with regards to planning your time and suggest that you watch those other videos if you want to know more about those things. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today and you've found it a little bit helpful and are feeling a little bit less stressed about the daunting task ahead of you. As always, please leave me some feedback and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Thanks very much.